Very happy to hear about your message in the chat.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevayam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevayam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevayam. Magyanatimilандasya Gananjana Shalakayam Chaksun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaham Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayarupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadam Tikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Lagunatam Vitam Tapsa Jivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Jinabando Jagatpati Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostutim Tapta Kanchala Golangira Devlindavaneshwari Plisabanu Sutive Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Klipasindubhaivacha Pachitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaham Namaham Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutali Shimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nichinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Goravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Srinavadi Pashyadi Shatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shrimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shrimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo.
Ribo. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Okay, so today we continue with the Plato chapter. Ribo. Parabhavastavad abodhajato yavanna jignasata atmatattvam yavat kriyastavad mano vai parmatmakam yena sharira bandha. As long as one does not inquire about the spiritual values of life, one is defeated and subjected to miseries arising from ignorance. Be it sinful or pious, karma has its results and actions. If a person is engaged in any kind of karma, his mind is called karmatmaka, colored with fruitive activity. As long as the mind is impure, consciousness is unclear, and as long as one is absorbed in fruitive activity, he has to accept a material body. Bhagavatam 555. It's in. Let's see. No, what is this? Why page not found? So where would this go? Is it material life? Let's see. As long as one does not inquire about the spiritual values of life, one is defeated and subjected to miseries arising from ignorance. Be it sinful or pious, karma has its result and actions. If a person is engaged, do we have? Ribo. So this is how I do notes. I find the category that it goes to, then I just copy it there. This is about karma. I have only one note about karma. It's empty. So we need to fill it.
Yes, Prabhu.
I think my longest notes, do you know which topic?
I don't know.
What would you guess?
Longest.
Is it? Did we kiss this long? But I think longest is about woman, maybe. Let's see. Yes, I think it's long. There is the most
Reward.
verses about the dangers of woman.
Oh,
Reward.
yeah.
Reward. Very nice.
Yeah, here is every verse that I
Okay.
found about woman and the dangers of sex life.
Oh, so can you
Very
share this
good.
for me afterwards?
Yes, bro, but there's so many, so it's hard to.
No. Okay.
Yes, I think I can copy it in the.
You can share like in PDF. Like it's okay. No, not no, bro. It's okay. Afterwards, you can.
This is about material life or like working in material way. Oh, and criticizing is also long. Criticizing, chastising. Also, this is about relatives. Here is all kinds of verse about how to deal with relatives.
Very nicely documented, bro. Very nice.
In ignorance, the living entity tries to approach the ideal life, but he is ultimately defeated. He must come to the point of understanding himself. When he understands what he is, he knows, I am not matter, I am spirit. When he understands this, he begins to make spiritual inquiries, and by this he can again return home back to Godhead. Shyamasundar Sundar Das. Plato believes that we must mold our lives in such a way to attain perfection. Srila Prabhupada. That is Krishna consciousness, devotional service. We are the eternal servants of God, of Krishna, and as long as we are in the material world, we should be trained to serve God. As soon as our apprenticeship is completed, we are promoted to the spiritual world to render the same service. In fact, we are chanting here, and in the spiritual world, we are also chanting. We are serving here, and there we will also be serving. However, here we experience a probational apprenticeship. There, that service is factual. But even though this is an apprenticeship, because devotional service is absolute, it is not different from the real world. Therefore, if one engages in devotional service, he is already liberated. His very activities are liberated, they are not at all material. One who does not know anything about devotional service thinks, oh, what are they doing? Why are they chanting? Anyone can chant. How is this spiritual? People do not know that the names of Krishna are as good as Krishna, they are absolute. Socrates maintained that one must become perfectly good, but he gives no clear idea of just how this is done. I think we read this part. Yeah, we were here. Hagrid
Yes,
does.
bro.
Plato, perfect happiness lies in attempting to become godly. Insofar as man is godly, he is ethical. Evil, evil forces within man combat his efforts to attain the ultimate goal. But Plato was not a determinist. He emphasized freedom of the will and insisted that evil acts are due to man's failure to meet his responsibilities. Evil does not come from God, who is all good. Prabhupada, everything comes from God. But we have to make our choice. Both the university and the prison are government institutions, but a prison is meant for criminals and the university for scholars. Yes, perfect example for this argument that he gave. That good and bad, if they can come from government, why they cannot come from God also? Because the government spends money to maintain both institutions, but we make our choice either to go to prison or the university. That is the minute independence present in every human being. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Samoham sarva bhuteshu na me dvesho stina priya na bhajan ye bhajanti tum bhaktya mayi te teshu chapyaham. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. Bhagavad Gita 9:29. It is not that out of envy God makes someone unhappy and someone else happy. This is not God's business. Happiness and unhappiness are our creation. The government does not tell us to become criminals, but it is our fault if we become criminals and suffer. Of course, God is ultimately responsible. God gives us suffering or happiness, but we create the situation which is made into fact by the potency of God. So we create the situation which is made into fact by the potency of God. I agree with that. Plato conceives of death as being the end of the sensory life of the individual, his thoughts, perceptions, and experiences. The individual then returns to the ideal world from which he came. Prabhupada. This means that he believes in the eternity of the soul. There are three stages: awakening, dreaming, and deep sleep or unconsciousness. When a man dies, he goes from awakening state into the dreaming state, and then enters the state of deep sleep. Transmigration means that he gives up the gross body and carries the subtle body, the mind, intelligence, and false ego, into another body. Until the other body is properly prepared, he remains in a state of deep sleep. When the body is prepared after 7 months for the human being, maybe some other number for animal or some other being, but for human being, when the body is prepared, he then regains consciousness. Yeah, so the old people, when they are getting ready to leave their body, they become kind of like really unconscious. You can just, yeah. Just yesterday, I was thinking about this, that how it is, and there was one like relative who left his body, and he was really old, like 90 years. And I saw a picture, and he was like, and yeah, they said that he didn't say anything anymore. He was just like sleeping, and his breathing was like cutting. It kept cutting. So he was like kind of fully unconscious already, in a sleep, but they still had the pulse, so they could say that he is alive. So they slowly enter, especially when one dies due to the old age, slowly he enters into the sleep state. And then when he leaves the body, he's already in deep sleep. And then the body changes. And here, until the other body is properly prepared, he remains in that state of deep sleep. And then when he again comes out, the consciousness comes back. Yeah, that's kind of scary, actually. Imagine one goes to deep sleep, he dreams
Yes,
about some
Prabhu.
really hellish situation and
Yes, Prabhu.
experiences that, and suddenly he wakes up as a dog and he sees some furry. That would be horrible.
Oh, but the intelligence will be there. What he previous birth intelligence and the consciousness is not there, no, Prabhu. If we change
Yes,
to
Prabhu.
dog,
Yeah, it's not there. Just in
uh,
rare cases, someone remembers what he knew in the last life. It's really rare cases. But usually that means forgetfulness or
yes,
forgetting.
no. But also we can see here, but we can see like how hard to remember Krishna at this time.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, and here it's explained that he gains the consciousness inside the womb. At this point, he thinks, "Oh my Lord, why I'm put in this situation? Why I'm packed tightly in this womb?" He forgot now previous life. He became
Uh-huh.
old, he went to deep sleep, and suddenly he just
Oh,
fell asleep. And suddenly he
oh,
wakes up in a packed situation. He's like, why I'm here, where I am, why it's so packed? And he's already in a new
oh,
body. Then he gets
yeah.
pushed out, and suddenly he's conscious, and the new body is there.
Oh,
But
very nice.
actually, Prabhu, I watched a lecture of His Grace Sundar Gopal Das Prabhu about when we leave our body, and he quote a verse in the Shrimad Bhagavatam, but I forgot the canto, and it say that our body temperature, I don't know how to say that, our body, like uh, degrees Celsius. Uh, I don't know how to say. Um, temperature, our body temperature will be 107. So it will be very high, and we will um, uh, we will suffer a lot
Yes,
actually
Prabhu.
when we
Like
leave our body. Yeah. So this is in Srimad Bhagavatam, but I forgot.
421.70, 429.71.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, this explained about the deep sleep. When the living entity is in deep sleep, he faints when there is some great shock of an account of severe loss at the time of death, or when the body temperature is very high, the movement of the live air is arrested. At that time, the living entity loses knowledge or of identifying the body with the self.
Oh yes, Prabhu. This verse. Yeah.
Yeah, see, in the purport, this is explained about. At the time of death, when the temperature of the body rises to 107 degrees, the living entity falls into a coma and is unable to identify his gross body. Yes, yeah, that's how it goes actually.
So this is
Yesterday,
very high
yeah,
temperature.
yes, Prabhu. But
Mm.
he's still there. He wants to, communicate. He wants to do something. He's there still in the body. And he's kind of, the mind is conscious, but he cannot move his body anymore.
No, it's like boiling inside.
Yeah,
Just you just like a fire inside,
yes,
just
Prabhu.
like a fire inside.
Yeah,
So you can understand this, and the body will automatically goes to you will lose consciousness automatically. So
yes, Prabhu.
so you see the final exam isn't so easy.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
Yes, bro.
We need to practice in this in every day, every minute, actually, every second, because we don't know where when we will depart
Yes,
from this body. So
Very too different for our imagination to reality.
yes, Prabhu.
so 4:21, 71, 29, 29, 72. Okay.
Where did the purport go? What happened at the time?
So this is a nice reading session. You taking 2 notes now.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, see this verse, and this is what happens then when the body temperature goes 107 and he's boiling inside, and he cannot identify with the body anymore. He loses consciousness, but the mind is still conscious. He's not just conscious of the body anymore, but the person is conscious still, just like he was always, because the soul, it never goes unconscious.
Yes,
So
Yes.
bro.
then this happens, especially with the family man who dies with the family members surrounding him. So thus the man who engaged with uncontrolled senses is in maintaining a family dies in great grief, seeing his relatives crying. He dies most pathetically, in great pain and without consciousness. And see,
Yeah.
then what
Yes,
happens?
bro.
या यमादूतौ तदा प्राप्तौ भीमौ शराबसेक्षणौ सा दृष्ट्वा त्रस्तहृदया सकृन्मूत्रं विमुञ्चति. At the death he sees the messengers of the Lord of Death come before him, their eyes full of wrath, and in great fear he passes stool and urine.
Oh, yes, yes. This verse. I saw it. So this is in Canto 3. Oh, okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. This was I am also thinking like that. When recently my uh, grandmother passed away, 1 year before, 1 year over. That situation, he they are too high the temperature, and they passes stool and urine, and the first time it a heart attack. On
Yeah.
that time, they passes urine, and like that, urine and stool. So that time only, Yamadutas, they see like that, and they afraid, and they
Yes,
they passes them to. I
yes,
now
Prabhu.
understand.
It's really scary actually, because yeah. Because the person sees them, they are real. Just like in your room, someone really scary looking monster walked in with the dogs and the chains.
Really,
I would be
really
horrified
very scary,
actually.
bro. I
Yeah.
am like uh, yeah, imagination only very uh, scary. If that situation is too dangerous.
Yes, Dharani, Dharani Prabhu. Yes, this. I don't know what they see usually. I don't know if they see some like some. I don't know what they usually can. They see something like some Gandharvas or some angels, or because also one very often I hear that before dying, someone is really old, then they start to see someone, they start to speak with someone. I don't know, because, and usually they don't describe them as ghosts, but I don't know what they are, because this happens really often that they speak with someone and talk with someone and they see someone and they are talking with someone. Also, that one relative who passed, his last week he has been doing so like weird stuff that he never did before, and he's all the time talking with someone and looking at the like ceiling and talking with someone. So that's really, I don't know what they are.
But in the Srimad Bhagavatam, they say that Yamadutas, and there is another, there is of a name too, but I forgot. It's in the third canto. The third canto talk about hell too, no?
Yes, bro. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
This
so this
this
is the
this is the part that I was now showing. This
okay.
is that
Mm.
describes, and it's really actually it's scary description because when I read that I was shaking actually. Is
Yes, Prabhu, it was very scary.
yeah. And there's the pictures also that shows how it goes. Here it is explained that as a criminal is arrested for punishment by the constables of the state, a person engaged in criminal sense gratification is similarly arrested by the Yamadutas, who bind him by the neck with strong rope and cover his supple body so that he may undergo severe punishment.
That's true.
And because the supple body, it cannot really die. You cannot, but it can experience this pain and things like this because these are
Yes,
experiences in the mind. It's
So
like a
so
really bad dream that doesn't end actually. It's really long bad dream.
Yes, Prabhu, it was very interesting to know these all things for first time.
Yes, Prabhu.
And you know, it's really good actually that we talk about that because
Yes, bro.
if we need some motivation,
Ah,
then we just have to read this, you know,
yes, bro.
and perhaps we will get some motivation to just do our sadhana properly, you know,
Yes, Prabhu.
because perhaps it, it, we will get help
Yes,
at
bro.
the end by the mercy of the Lord. But you know, if we practice, if we give us our life to it, I think that the Lord will show mercy because at the end we will be so weak. Then I don't know. I don't know what we will think. What I will be thinking, or
Yes, bro.
will I be chanting? I don't know. You know, I don't know.
Yes,
So
Prabhu.
this is so His Grace Sundar Gopal Das Prabhu. He just tell that uh, this all this is all the mercy of the Lord. So we have to serve His pure devotee, so that we stand a chance at the end. That He just um, give 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 us a small and little help. You know, just little mercy, because
Yes.
we will not be like Prabhupada, who uh, who at the end still
Yes,
chanting,
bro.
you know.
Ah,
Yeah,
yes, bro. That's so correct.
this was incredible. They opened they managed to open his mouth just to get darshan of his lotus tongue. It was moving. He was chanting till
Yes,
his
bro.
last breath.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
This is pure devotee stage. And
And also,
when I hear that the first time, I was thinking, wow, I was, you know, getting goosebumps, you know, because this is really incredible, really incredible.
also like, uh, Srila Prabhupada was from spiritual planet. So, uh,
Yeah, I know he's not an ordinary man, but you know, it's always amazing to hear and to. It's like Shri Krishna Bhagavan pastime and Shri Gauranga pastime. We hear this a lot, but every time we're just getting some nectar, you know. So this will never end. And Srila Prabhupada is the same. When we hear his lila, when we talk about his lila, we just get the nectar, and we end up blissful, you know. So
yes, Prabhu.
eh, yeah, sometimes I just like to share some of what what I'm hearing, you know, about Srila Prabhupada, because yeah, I know he is pure devotee and he is not ordinary man, but um, I like to talk about that because we will all facing the last exam, the last breath, and so we have to be prepared, and at least we have to do our best, you know.
Yes, Prabhu.
So just give our best to for now, and see what happens. But yeah, it's scary. It's scary. It's
Yes,
very
bro.
scary.
This
Mm.
this was a very this was like first time for I am hearing. It was very interesting for me.
And you know, it's very well. Uh, um, of course, this is Srimad Bhagavatam, but it's very well written because you can see when you read, you can see
Yes,
immediately, yeah, in the mind, you know. So I think that we mind, uh, it's like memory, you know, but lost memory. You know? Sometimes I think like that because this is suffering, and we all already experience such suffering before,
yes, Prabhu.
because we are uh, conditioned soul, and you know, so eating, so perhaps we remember, but you
We've
know, because
experienced
the
this more
suffer.
than we've experienced human life. We've
Yeah,
lived more
yeah,
in animal bodies than in human bodies, so we've experienced
yes.
far more than the human body.
And you know, sometimes when you have some phobia, I don't know the words if correct, but you know, in French we say that like that. This is when you are afraid of a snake or afraid of a
Yes,
spider. Uh, I, I I I thought perhaps is related to what we experience in hell, you know, and
yes,
in a previous life when we were animals, you know. So perhaps it's like that, you know,
yes.
and
I've always
because it's
been
suffer.
scared of all the bugs. I've been really scared of all the bugs. I always ran away so fast. I don't know why,
Yeah.
but yeah, this is nice.
So
Because
Yes,
so
bro.
there's some hellish
I
planet
just
and there is huge bugs, and they come after the people that are there, and they try to catch them. Yeah, it's horrible.
you know, yeah, it's quite weird. Sometimes we got some we are afraid of some you know everyone is afraid of something or someone.
Yes,
Pretty so I think that perhaps it's related to our past life, you know,
yeah.
when we experience all those
Yes,
body
bro.
and
Like,
yeah.
I was thinking that this 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 description that he's placed in the midst of burning piece of food and limbs are set to fire, and in some cases he's made to eat his own flesh or have it eaten by others. See all these horrible things. This is also his entrails are pulled out by the hounds of and vultures of hell, even though he's still alive to see it. And he's subjected to torment by serpents, scorpion, gnats, and other creatures that bite him.
Oh yes, Prabhu, yes. Mm.
Yeah, so after all this, I think the animal life will feel comfortable. So this is
Yes.
like there. Because without this, we couldn't be so comfortable in the animal life, maybe. So we're getting prepared with some really worse condition. So when we go here, just like when you go to the cold water and you come out of the cold water, then the air feels comfortable and warm. So similarly here, we are dipped into the most abominable place that is like really scary and horrible. So when we get the animal body, then we are more comfortable in that animal body because we experience just something. This
Yes,
also
bro.
happens in animal life. These entrails are pulled out by the hounds, even though he's still alive. If you go to the Africa or anywhere there is wild animals, this is how they eat each other. So the animal life already is like hell. So the hell is just getting used to this animal life.
Bro, I have a doubt, like small doubt. Like, what can you say, like, Ajamila's remembrance, like, compared to now we have read all like this death situations, but how can Ajamila remember?
Yes, but he was devotee. So
Oh, okay. Oh, Krishna's mercy. Okay,
Yeah, this is special mercy from the Lord.
yes, bro.
okay.
And
Oh, he
also in
was.
his early life,
Oh,
he was devotee also. He was good
oh,
devotee. So that's why
okay.
I remembered.
Okay, okay. I understand.
And because he was devotee, he named his son Narayana, even though he was sinful rascal. He was really attached to the sun, and that's why he was shouting his name.
So we should
What?
never minimize our service to the Lord
Yes,
Yes,
bro.
because
bro.
he could really help us at the time of death. You know?
Yes, bro.
Bro, what you can say, like, for example, uh, our like, I was too attached for any person whose name was Krishna's name. Okay. I am in last that time. I am remember Krishna Krishna. It's not possible, no, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, that's really hard because for Ajamila, it was also the mercy of the Lord that he happened to do so. Because we cannot do so artificially that we try to remember some person who has the. Then
Yes, Prabhu.
it will be different. If we won't chant the name, maybe, or yeah, there will be something that it won't go like Ajamil.
Yes, but uh, uh, at the same at the same time uh, for at the same time another example like our grandmother or grandmother or grandfather, they are dying. We are all uh, uh, surround them. We are also we are also crying. Then they will remember us, and they will take birth in our family. Like that also happen, no, bro? Like rare. It was rare, but I was telling like that.
That's why it's best to like live with in association with devotees. But I don't know what happens if you leave the body while you think about some normal devotee. I never asked this. Does anyone know what happens then? If I, for example, if I when I leave my body, I think about Gianni Prabhu and he's a devotee, then what happens? Do I become like Gianni Prabhu or like
Yes, yes, true. We can ask in Istugoshti.
yes, Prabhu?
Okay, you can continue.
Yes, Prabhu. One second.
At what verse it starts from, Prabhu? Like that death topic. At what verse it starts in Bhagavatam? At
Like
what
which
canto?
one? About what?
About like this death, uh, last death situation. Like you are explaining now, like one not seven, like temperature rises and
Yeah.
or
Yeah, that is
like that.
42971.
Okay. From it, from stats from that, it continues for some verses, for some verses.
No, Prabhu, it's explained about the life when one is yachts, and yeah,
Okay, okay, it's okay.
like about material life. Hmm. When the living entity dreams, the sense objects are not actually present. However, because one has associated with the sense objects, they become manifest. Similarly, the living entity with undeveloped senses does not cease to exist materially, even though he may not be exactly in contact with the sense objects.
Hmm.
Hmm. This is about Ajamil. My dear servants, who are as good as my sons, just see how glorious is the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. The greatly sinful Ajamila chanted only to call his son, not knowing that he was chanting the Lord's holy name. Nevertheless, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, he remembered Narayana, and thus he was immediately saved from the ropes of death. See, Prabhu, here is the answer. Because even though he chanted Narayana as his son, but see, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, he remembered Narayana. This means he remembered Krishna. He didn't remember the sun. But because he chanted the name, that's why he remembered the Lord. So he didn't remember the sun. Similarly, if I remember someone like Krishna Das, his name is Krishna Das, and I remember that some person, his name Krishna Das, and then I think about Krishna, that's that's successful. But if I remember just that person, Krishna Das, then I don't think it's the same thing because then we are not remembering Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. But at the time, at this time, uh, the Yamadutas also will come, and Devatas also will come, no, Prabhu?
No, Prabhu, I don't think it happens again because
Because like I was reading in Ajamila's book, Second Chance. Then the conversation was going on
Yes, Prabhu.
in he was
Then
also there.
then
Yeah,
Yamaraj explains to the Yamadutas that you don't approach devotees anymore. That these
yes,
who have
was going.
chanted, you shouldn't approach them.
Yes,
So then they
yes.
learned about not
Uh,
approaching because they were confused that he's sinful, but he chanted. Then
hmm.
he explained about the glories of chanting, this chanting, how it purifies.
So it was very interesting.
Because he was telling them, don't approach this person.
Hmm.
Hmm. Therefore, it should be understood that one is easily relieved from all sinful reactions by chanting the holy name of the Lord and chanting of his qualities and activities. This is the only process recommended for relief from sinful reactions. Even if one chants the holy name of the Lord with improper pronunciation, he will achieve relief from the material bondage if he chants without offenses. Ajamila, for example, was extremely sinful, but when dying, he merely chanted the holy name, and although calling his son, he achieved complete liberation because he remembered the name of Narayana. Hmm. Then, is it here? Here. The chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is recommended even for persons who commit offenses because if they continue chanting, they will gradually chant offenselessly. By chanting the Hare Krishna mantra without offenses, one increases his love for Krishna, as stated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Prema Pumartamaha. One's main concern should be to increase one's attachment to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and to increase one's love for Him. But I was in some purport it was explained. I was trying to. There was explanation in some purport that why Ajamil got liberated, and it was explanation that did he chant with offenses and or not with offenses. But I don't. Is it here? Maybe. Even if in the beginning one chants the Hare Krishna mantra with offenses, one will become free from such offenses by chanting again and again. Papakshayas chabhavati smaratam ta aharnisham. One becomes free from all sinful reactions if one chants day and night, following the recommendation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was desperate. Is this, see if this is in the note. Mm, hmm. I don't have that. That's weird. Here it is. Is this the same verse? Nama Partayutanam. Yeah, it's the same verse. Scroll. Terrible. Now let's continue. Who wants to read?
Can I read?
Yes, Prabhu. Terrible.
In the womb, it feels very uncomfortable, and if he is pious, he prays to God for relief. At this time, he promised God that he will become a devotee. When he comes out of the womb, the different stage of life begin: childhood, youth, manhood, middle age, old age, and then again death. It is like a flower that goes through different stages. In the beginning, the flower is only a bud, and it eventually blossoms and looks very beautiful. By gradually developing our Krishna consciousness, the beauty of our life can eventually be manifest. Plato also stressed the process of remembering. For instance, a boy may be ignorant of a certain subject, but a teacher can elicit answer from him that will suggest that he acquired this certain knowledge in a previous existence. Hmm. Yes, and therefore we find that some students are more intelligent than others. Why is this? One student can grasp the subject very quickly, while another cannot. Ulvabhyasinatena liryatehi havassopisaha. By virtue of the divine consciousness of his previous life, he automatically becomes attracted to the yogic principle even without seeking them. 6.44. Some men may be born in rich family and may acquire a good education, whereas others may be born in poor family and remain uneducated. If one is extraordinarily rich, educated, aristocratic, and beautiful, we should understand that he is reaping the result of his previous good activities. In any case, regardless of one's position in this world, everyone has to be educated to Krishna consciousness. In this sense, everyone has an equal opportunity, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam. Kilata Kilata Unandra Pulinda Pulkasha Abila Sunba Yavana Kasadaya Yenecha Papaya Apashla Yashlaya Shudyanti Tasmai Plavavishnave Namaha. Kilat, Kilata Hunna Undra Pulinda Pulkasha Bila Shunba Yavanam and the Kasha race, and even others who are addicted to sinful acts, can be purified by taking shelter of the devotee of the Lord due to his being the supreme power. I beg to offer my respectful obeisances unto him. 2418. So even if one has the body of an aboriginal, he can be trained in Krishna consciousness because that consciousness is on the platform of the soul. So even those people can be trained in Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
But this is like the lower stage when we are like aboriginal. And
Yeah.
this is like really like in the mode of ignorance when we are there.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm. Concerning education, it is stated in the Republic, the soul of every man possesses the power of learning the truth and the organ to see it with. just as one might have to turn the whole body around for the eyes to see light instead of darkness. So the entire soul must be turned away from his changing from this changing world until its eyes can bear to contemplate reality and that supreme splendor which we have called the good. Hence there may well be an art whose aim would be to affect this very thing. The conversation of the soul is the readiest way, not to put the power of sight into the soul's eye, which already has it, but to ensure that instead of looking in the wrong direction, it is turned it is turned the way it ought to be. That is the purpose of this Krishna consciousness movement. It is certainly an art. It is a process of purifying the senses. When the senses are purified, our main objective is attained. We do not say that sensory activities are to be stopped, they are to be redirected. Presently, the eyes of seeing things material. The eyes want to see a beautiful object, and we say, yes, you can see the beautiful form of Krishna. The tongue wants to taste palatable food, and we say, yes, you can take this Krishna prasad, but do not eat meat and other food you cannot offer to Krishna. Everything is given. We simply have to purify the senses according to Bhagavad Gita. Vishaya nivaltante nilahaslasya dehina la savaljam la sopiyasya palam drishva nivaltate. The embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment to the taste for the sense object remains, but ceasing such engagement by experiencing higher taste, he is fixed in Krishna consciousness. Bhagavad Gita 2.59. Neither Socrates nor Plato ever mention uh, service to God through their speak of contemplation of God reality or the supreme splendor or good. It is always contemplation or meditation that it is traced, as in Jnana Yoga. This is but one process of knowing God, and it may be partially helpful to know God as He is. However, when we come to know God, we understand He is great and I am small. It is the duty of the small to serve the great. That is nature's way. Everyone is serving in one way or another. But one way or another. But when we realize that we are servant and not the master, we realize our real position. It is our natural position to serve. If someone doesn't have a family to serve, he keeps a dozen dogs and serve them. Yes, so true. Especially in the Western country. We see that in old age. When one has no children, he keeps two or three dogs and try to serve them.
Mm.
Yeah, actually, the master who served the dog. Yeah.
Yes, bro.
Our
Actually,
position.
this thing
Yeah,
happened with my brother. He became suddenly, Maya got him really badly, and suddenly he wanted really to buy a dog, a big dog, American Bulldog, the biggest dog. Yeah, he wanted that. And yeah, then he got the dog and he had to start to serve him, clean his pool all around the house and all that. And he couldn't do anything anymore. Every morning, get up and take the dog outside and it's barking all the time. It was worse than a child. We had to take care of this dog and it was horrible. It was worse than a child. He was always
yes, bro.
crying. He wanted someone to play with him. Then he wanted to crying outside. Then he protested and passed stool everywhere or pissed everywhere. Yeah, he. if we went outside without him, he was barking inside like crazy person, and he was eating everything, trying to break things. Yeah, it was we. My brother was. He made me also like a servant of the dog. He's ordered me. You serve the dog, and you take the dog out right now. Can you please go buy some food for my dog? I had to serve the dog all the time, actually. And then this was not enough. This was not enough. He got more crazy. After 3 years of serving the dog, suddenly he said, "I want to buy another dog for as a friend for." And I said,
It
"No, this
wasn't
is
enough.
craziest idea." I was saying, "This is craziest idea. This one dog is, pain. It's so painful. I have to take it outside. I have to buy the food. I have to do everything for your dog. You want another dog. You're not even taking care of your one dog, and now you want the other dog." And then he was laughing, ha ha ha, and something. And then he went and bought the dog. Yeah. Then he was living with two dogs, sleeping on top of each other, like three dogs. Yeah, it was worse than Jagaimada. It was like three dogs actually. It was horrible to see.
Yeah, so yeah, at that time you didn't know about Krishna.
Yes,
Yes.
bro. Yeah, when someone
Mm.
served dogs, he degrades so much suddenly. He becomes so dirty.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
hope
it's
not that.
true.
And
It's
this is
true.
happening. And it's not just old people. Now it's everyone. Everyone wants to get his own dogs.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's true. It's everyone, and even small child.
yes, bro.
So
Mm.
was like what do we say? Uh, in every home, one dog is there now. This was in fashion.
Yes, bro.
No, really, in all we can see all home they will serve dog
Yeah.
almost.
Yes, bro. It's and when then the dog dies and they cry so much and they spend so much money and they fed the whole life the dog and they took care hospital bills, so big hospital bills for the dog,
Yes,
and suddenly
bro.
it dies and then they cry and then they say, let's buy another dog.
We ask for trouble.
Yes,
Yes,
bro.
Mm.
Whenever someone says, hear so many, I hear often someone says, oh, I got a new dog, and I'm like, oh, some you bought yourself some, some pain and trouble.
yes, really, it was too horrible
Yes,
to
bro.
like it was too horrible. You can say. Hmm.
Okay, Jenny Prabhu.
Okay, we are master. We are illusioned. The word Maya means that we are serving while thinking that we are master. Maya means that which is not, or that which is not factual. Through meditation, where we become realized, we can understand, oh, am I the servant? Presently, am I serving Maya, illusion? Now let me serve Krishna. This is perfection. The spiritual master engages from the very beginning in the service of God. Then we can attain perfection quickly.
Hmm.
In the Republic,
It was said engaging from the beginning in the service, and then it's quickly. Yeah, so
yes,
one needs to be engaged in some service.
yeah, Plato constructs an ideal state in which the leaders possess nothing on their own, neither property nor family. He felt that people should live together in a community with wives and children and held in common to God against corruption, bribery, and nepotism in government. El- elite philosopher should mate with women of high qualities in order to produce the best children for position of responsibility. How does this correspond to the Vedic version? According to Vedic civilization, a man should accept a wife for putra, putra for son, putra pinda playojanam. Putra or son should offer pinta, so that after death the father will be elevated if he is an undesirable position. Hmm. Marriage is for begetting good sons who will deliver one from the fire of hell. So deliver daughter is not so good actually
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, it's not advised.
in the Vedic, according Vedic civilization.
Yes, Prabhu.
Mm. Therefore, the Shlada ceremony is there because even if the father is in hell, he will be delivered. It is the son who offers the Shlada oblation, and this is his duty. Therefore, one accepts a wife for putra, good son, not for sex enjoyment. One who utilizes sex life in a religious way will get a good son who can deliver him.
Hmm.
Therefore, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Dharma vi viludo bhuteshu kamushmibala tal shabaha. I am sex life which is not contrary to religious principle. Bhagavad Gita 7.11. Sex contrary to religious uh, principle is sense gratification that leads us into a hellish condition. Therefore, according to Vedic civilization, we should marry and beget good progeny. I told my Guru Maharaj was a sannyasi brahmachari. He used to say, if I could produce really Krishna conscious children, I would have sex 100 times. But why should I have sex just to produce cats and dogs? The Shastra also says, Guru Nasyat Svajano Sa Nasasyat Pitana Sa Janani Na Sasyat Daiva Na Tatsyan Na Patischasasyan Na Muchayedya Samut Pita Mlityum. One who cannot deliver his dependence from the path of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a father, a husband, a mother, and a worshipable demigods. Yeah, it's very well known
Yes.
verse. Bhagavatam s- uh, 5.5.18. It is the duty of the father and the mother to rescue their children from the cycle of birth and death. If one can do this, he can in turn be rescued by his putra if he happens to fall into hellish condition. Mm. So the son is like our how to say that uh, like he will save our life from hellish condition.
Yes, Prabhu. He has opportunity to do so because if one in the family becomes liberated, then 14 generations becomes liberated. But also
So
this, yes, Prabhu.
this is applicable for us too. Like if we manage to be liberated, then our uh, whole family and generation
Yes, Prabhu.
will be
14 upcoming and 14 previous generations are liberated.
oh great. There is a verse in CC, yeah, Chaitanya Charitamrita about that.
Yes, Prabhu. I think it's there.
I have to search it because those last few days I was reading something about that in the
Yes, Prabhu.
CC.
Yeah, there is few.
So,
There is some other thing also. There is like two different.
mm,
I remember there is two different, but I need to search them.
yeah, I need to search that. Plato
Also,
believed that,
also this one thing that in Ajamila's case also the son kind of helped him to get delivered because just
yeah,
because of the son he was chanting Narayana. So in that case
yes,
also the son helped him get delivered.
yes, true.
Yes,
Plato
Prabhu.
believed that the perfect state should be organized in such a way that man can strive for ideal. He equates political activity with moral endeavor, and he said that the ruler of the state must be a wise man, philosopher, king, or a group of wise men in a perfect society. Each individual function to his best capacity according to natural ability. This leads to the most harmonious type of society. Is there someone who read to who want to read? Because I'm reading for so long.
Sure, bro.
If someone want to first continue.
I can tell you. I can tell.
Yes, Prabhu.
Srila Prabhupada. This idea is also found in Bhagavad Gita, in which Krishna says that the ideal society is a society of four varnas: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishyas, and Shudra. In society, human society, as well as the animal society, very living being is under the influence of modes of material nature, sattva guna, rajoguna, and tamoguna. That is, goodness, passion, and ignorance. By dividing men according to these qualities, society and be perfect. If a man in the mode of ignorance assumes a philosopher post, Havok will result, nor can we have a philosopher work as an ordinary laborer. There must be some specific division in order to perfect perfect society. According to the Vedas, the Brahmanas, 1 minute, bro, 1 minute.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, sorry, bro. Uh, According to the Vedas, the Brahmanas, the most intelligent men interested in transcendental knowledge and philosophy uh, should be given in a uh, topmost and the Kshatriyas, the administrators should work under their instructions. The administrators should see that there is law and order and law and, law and order, that everyone is doing his duty. Uh, the next section is the productive class, the Vaishyas, who are engaged in agriculture and cow protections. There are also the Shudras, the common laborers who work for the benefit of the other sections. Of course, now there is industrialization, and the large scale industry means exploitation. Such industry was unknown to Vedic civilization. Then people lived by agriculture and cow protection. If there are healthy cows and young milk, enough milk, everyone can uh, get grains, fruits, vegetables, and other foods. That is sufficient in itself. Unfortunately, modern civilization has taken to animal eating, and this is a barbarous. This is not this is not even human. Ideal society is a society of Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. In Srimad Bhagavatam, these divisions are compared to the body: the head, the arms, the belly, and the legs. All parts of the body are meant to keep the body fit. Comparatively, the head is more important than the legs. However, without the help of the legs, the body cannot properly work. The head must give the directions to the body to go to this place or that. But if the legs are unfit to walk, the body cannot move. Therefore, there must be cooperation, and this cooperation is found in the ideal state. Now, nowadays, rascal fools and asses are being voted in as administrators. If a person can rescue a vote in some way or other, he is given the post. He is given the post. Okay, post of the administrator, even though he may be rascal number one. So what can be done? For this reason, people cannot be happy. The ideal state functions under the directions of the Brahmanas. The Brahmanas themselves are not personally interested in the political affairs or administrations, because they have a higher duty. Presently, because the head is missing, the social body is a dead body, and the head is very important, and our Krishna consciousness moment is attempting to create some brahmanas who can properly direct society. The administrators will be able to rule very nicely under the instructions of the philosophers and technologians. That is God consciousness people. A person who is atheistic will never condemn the opening of slaughterhouses because there are many rascals heading the government. Animal slaughter is allowed when Maharaj Parikshit saw the sorry saw the personification of Kali trying to kill a cow. He immediately drew his sword and said, "Who are you? Why are you trying to kill this cow?" That was a real king. Shyamasundara Das. A similar social structure was also observed by Plato. However, he advocated the three divisions instead of four. The go- guard, gu- guard, guardians were men of wisdom who ruled and governed. The warriors were uh, courageous, and they protected the others. The artisans performed their service obediently and were motivated to work by their need to satisfy their appetites. In addition, he saw in man a threefold division of intelligence, of courage, and appetite. What is meant by appetite, bro?
It means
Sorry.
like hunger. It's like hunger, Prabhu.
Okay. Appetite. Okay. Appetite, which correspond to the modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance possessed by the soul. Okay. Srila Prabhupada. The soul does not possess their qualities. That is a mistake. The soul is by nature pure, but due to his contact with modes of material nature, he is uh, dressed differently. This Krishna consciousness moment aims at removing this material dress. Therefore, our first instruction is, "You are not this body." I agree with us. In the Republic, Plato states that the best form of government is an enlightened monarchy. So, Prabhupada, yes, we agree. Evam para praptam id emam rajasya viddu. This supreme science was received through the chain of disciple succession, and the saintly kings understood it in the that way. Srimad Bhagavad Gita 4.2, a Rajashri is a saintly king who is an ideal ruler. We offer respect to Maharaja Yudhishthira, Maharaja Parikshit, and Lord Ramachandra because they set scroll. Okay. Uh, Ramachandra because they set examples as ideal kings. I agree with Dasa. Plato maintained that when a monarchy degenerates, it becomes a trainee. When an aristocratic rule deteriorates, it becomes an oligarchy. A government ruled by corrupt men. He considered democracy to be one of the worst forms of government because when it deteriorates, it degenerates to mob rule.
Yeah, this was okay, Prabhu. Now we need to go to 6 as getting
Okay.
late. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Who wants to start?
I can, you can understand.
Yes, bro. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhavamahadavagnirvapanam Eya kairabachan papitanam Jabatu jivanam Sampudivartanam pratipadam purnamritaswadanam Sarvatmasnapanam param vijayate Krishna Sankirtanam.
Mari Bahudaji Sarvashakti Parvitaya Sarvasvarima Vedata Shirita Prabhavam Gurudeva Me Shabhiha Karuna Murad
त्रिनादपि सुनीतरोरपि सहिष्णुनामानेन मानदेन कीर्तनीया सदा हरि
नदनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितं वा जगदीशकामयीं मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतद्भक्तिर्हैतुकी त्वयि
Ainanda tanuja kinkama vishame bhavam budau kripa tava pada pankajasti daduli sadana.
नयनं गदलाशूधराय वदनं गद्गदहृदया गिरा विलखेर्निचिन्तं वपु कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति
युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषां प्लाविषायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्दविलहेन मे
आश्लिष्य वा पदार्थं विनष्टु माम् अदृशं नान्मर्म हतं करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणमत्तस्तु एव न परः
Haribo.
विभु
Haribo.
glory
Glory
to
to the Sri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguish the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtana movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spread the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increased the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Sorry, Prabhu.
Haribo. Haribo.
O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to the living being, and thus you have enjoyed and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda in this transcendental name, you have invested all your transcendental energy. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting this name. Oh my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy name, but I am so unfortunate that I have no instruction for that.
one should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all senses of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
Oh Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any numbers of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth.
O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
Oh my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name.
Oh Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like the winds of rain. And I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna has my lord, as he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me, he is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my merciful Lord unconditionally.
Tribo.
Haribo!
Saswam Kija.
Jai!
10 offenses to the holy name. First offense, to
Blaspheme devotee who are dedicated their life
blaspheme the Vedic literature. Yes, bro.
for propagating the holy name of the Lord.
Second one, to second offense, to consider the names of the demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu.
Third
Lord
offense, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master.
For offense, to blaspheme the Vedic scriptures in person to the Vedic version.
Fifth offense, to consider the glories of the Hare Krishna to be an imagination.
Sixth, sixth offense, to give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord.
Seventh offense, to commit the sinful activities on the strength of the holy name.
To give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord.
7, to commit sinful acts in the strength of the holy name.
Eighth, to consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as spiritual activities karmakanda.
Nine offense, to instruct a faceless person about the glories of the holy name.
10th offense, to not have complete faith in the chanting of holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success Krishna Prema. Vanchakalpatarubhrischa
Harikrishna Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Pavaneni Vaishnavibhyo Namo
नमो नमः पंचतत्व की जय नित्यानंद की जय
Jai
श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य
Jai
महाप्रभु की जय श्री प्रपद की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल
Hari Haribo